Good afternoon, Norcal Karters. It is March 15th, 2022, and this is another quick karting updates of upcoming events in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And the race calendars are out, so there's a lot of racing going on. There's a lot of information going on. There's also a lot of special interest stuff going on. So let's get to it. So if you haven't done it yet, please go to YouTube, look up Norcal Karters. That's Norcal, Karters with a K. And hit the like and subscribe button. We are expanding our content. We started doing live stream a couple of months ago. And as many of you know that watch the live stream, Ashley's been helping me out with that. And she's going to be taking on more of the role of the Norcal Mondays. So that's going to free me up a little bit to get back to making kind of some more how-to-do videos. And right now we're really focused on that beginner or brand new karter. So the videos are very simple. They're supposed to be straightforward. They're supposed to be informational. So go check it out. YouTube, Norcal Karters. And as always, and everybody else, we're on Facebook under Norcal Karters. We are posting more on Instagram. So this weekend we will be out at Sonoma for the Rock Sonoma race out at, obviously, this is Sonoma Raceway. And I will be doing some live streaming there. One, we will be doing the races on Sunday, live stream. But I will also be doing more Instagram stuff and YouTube stuff and Facebook Live stuff on Saturday. So check it out. Stay tuned to our social channels. And sometimes I feel like I beg for money, and I am begging for money. I think PBS calls it donations, but pretty much all the money goes into somehow promoting either Norcal Karters or kart events in the area. So, we have shirts available for sale. We have decals for sale. If we're at certain events, we give out decals. Now, we might ask you to do something like subscribe to our YouTube channel or show that you're a fan of the page. But again, the whole project for Norcal Karters is just get the word out there on karting. It's one of those sports that you've probably never heard of it, and then once you hear about it and you get around, it's like, oh, I have a friend that did that, or my uncle's cousin did that, and all of a sudden the world becomes a lot smaller. So again, all the donations we receive, they go right back into the project. And we would like to expand our live streaming and our coverage, but it all takes money. And we've been point blank. There's a few industry members. There's a few tracks that have really supported Norcal Karters from day one. And then there's others that just completely ignore it. So it's one of those things where it's a passion project. It requires money to do live stream. And so if you're sitting there wondering, well, why doesn't Norcal Karters live stream our race? Talk to your club. Talk to your promoter. And I think the packages are very affordable. But again, we will be out at Sonoma this weekend live streaming, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Last year was great. I mean, a lot of good racing action was recorded, and it went right to YouTube. So again, Norcal Karters, it really is a passion project to grow karting. And that's why you will hear me frequently looking for donations or trying to sell products to raise money for Norcal Karters. And that's why. It goes into equipment, it goes into coverage, etc. And I don't really need to promote the podcast because if you're listening to this, you're hearing the podcast. So it's kind of a moot point. Let's see here. Again, for those that are new to this I'm trying to get this particular show done in 15 minutes or less. I had a lot of requests from people that said, Jason, we like you, but we don't like you enough to listen to you for an hour talking about karting events that are coming up. So can you make it a lot shorter and just get over with it? So that's what this episode is. They're just quick karting events that are coming up in Northern California or related to the California area. And, yeah, that's Norcal Karters. So let's get to it. Let's see. First off, to our sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors. We have Gorilla Barbecue. We have GFC Karting. We have ExtraKartParts.com. And we have Aluminos.com. thank you for the support of Norcal Karters and some of our local tracks and promoters that also support Norcal Karters. We have Rock Sonoma, and they have a really exciting news coming up. Their title sponsor, Sanzura, they're working on some extremely exciting news that's going to directly benefit the racers. So keep an eye on Rock Sonoma and Sanzaru Karting for those updates that are coming up. Also, Challenge of the Americas, Challenge Karting. Andy Saisman, he's been a supporter of Norcal Karters for a couple of years now. They are going to be kicking off, wrapping up rather, their Challenge of America series here in a couple of weeks. We'll get into that here in a moment. But thank you, Andy, for the support. And also Prairie City Karting, Donald Durbin. He was on our live stream last night, and he's been a supporter of Norcal Karters for the past couple of years. So thank you very much. Right now, we are still putting together the calendars for the 2022 season, and we are still reaching out to various clubs and promoters for support for Norcal Karters. So if you're a local club and you haven't heard from me yet, and you want to reach out and you want to get more exposure for your kart events, norcalkarters@gmail.com. Drop me a quick link. Many of you have my cell phone number. Many of you know who I am on Facebook. So that will be something we'll be hitting a little bit harder here in the next couple of weeks. But a lot of stuff coming on. So thank you to our supporters that help keep this funded. The other day I was asked by Ashley to break down costs. And just to keep the subscriptions, the live stream, the website, all these little things that you just kind of take for granted, all to keep them alive and running, it's almost $4,000 a year. So some of you are asking, I could do a website for $20 and for the year. It's like, yeah, I had that before. And it had a lot of limitations. It had a lot of setbacks. It was a basic site. I was utilizing Google Calendar for my events, and it was very hard to share events from the Google Calendar to social media or to other people. So we upgraded the website. So there's been a lot of stuff going on. Again, that's where the money goes. I'm not going to get rich on Norcal Karters. It really is the passion project to help promote karting, get new people into karting. Hopefully we retain the people that are in karting. And sorry, I'm rambling. I'm reading my notes. I'm rambling. But I wanted to say thank you to the sponsors, but I also kind of wanted to really speak to where the money goes. And that's where it goes. So thank you to the sponsors. And for 2022, there is no easy way in or out of this topic. But 2022, the theme of this weekly podcast has been suicide prevention and awareness. And this topic, this has hit our karting community hard all over the country. And it's one of those things you just don't think about it till it happens, or something happens to a local racer and it's like, oh my God. Well, I have this platform. I have Norcal Karters. I've wanted to do a resource page on Norcal Karters for a couple of years now. Unfortunately, I'm using the suicide prevention and awareness theme to prompt me to build that resource page. So the very first thing I created on the resource page was a suicide prevention and awareness page. There's 800 numbers. There's sheets. There's what to look for. There's an actual chat line. There's multiple agencies that are there at your disposal. And to be very frank and very honest with you, I didn't really know how much information was so accessible for suicide prevention and awareness. And it just had to be addressed. It's going to be a permanent fixture on our site. It's the very first resource tab on norcalkarters.com. But, just in 2021, we lost 3 karters, Colby Dubato, Dan Ashapa, Chris Worthington. 2 of those drivers were Northern California based. And again, it hits really close to home. So again, Norcal Karters, it's a community page. It's a resource page. Get people into karting. Keep people into karting. But we're also a family. We develop a lot of lifelong relationships because of this sport. And I might as well use the website to its full ability where I can. So again, if right now you're listening to this and you're having thoughts of suicide, you know someone that's having thoughts of suicide, and you don't know how to navigate that, I'm not an expert. I can't navigate that. It's, again, a very, very, very tough subject, but there's a resource page. Please go there now if you're having those thoughts. And if you have someone in your close circle that is having these thoughts or expressed to you, those are warning signs. They're reaching out for help. And you may be sitting there thinking, man, I don't know how to help this guy or gal. Just take a moment. Go to the resources page. Maybe all it takes is just a quick forward. Or you can contact one of those numbers for them. And again, let's do our part. We're all a big family, and we're here to support each other, at and away from the racetrack. So again, there really is no easy in and out segue to that topic. But for the rest of 2022, that is our theme for this podcast. And it might even carry on further. I don't know. But again, norcalkarters.com, click on the resources tab. The very first link is the suicide prevention and awareness. And I welcome your feedback. If you find a resource that you think is helpful or other people may need, send me a message, email me, norcalkarters@gmail.com, and I will update that page as needed. So it's going to be a growing, evolving page. So again, it's tragic that it takes personal loss for action to happen, but at least we're doing something. So with that being said, we have some racing coming on. Let's see here. Quick recap. Last 4 live stream shows. We had Prairie City. We had Donald Urban on. We had Trenton Healy on. We had Travis Mitchell on. Steven Eisert showed up. Myself, Ashley. And we were talking about Prairie City. We were talking about KPX. We were recapping the last couple of weeks. A couple of weeks ago, we had kart mechanics and tuners on. That actually took up 2 weeks of our live stream. So all the live streams can be found either on Facebook or on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, go like and subscribe. And then about a month ago, we were kicking off a remote test. I just called it the Fireside Chat with Jason, and it was really a way for me to test our remote abilities when I'm away from the home office to do live stream or podcasts, etc. So we had a couple of good guests on that one as well. So even though it was a test, it was actually it was a great episode. Ryan Beechner joined me. Local guy Daniel Tan joined me. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to go off the top of my head because my notes aren't in front of me from that episode if we had anybody else on. But it was just a great little live stream. I mean, it was meant to be a test, but there was some great content in there. We were talking about local karting. If you're out there going, who's Daniel Tan? We had him on because he promotes a Karts and Coffee down in Modesto. Typically, it takes place on the 3rd Sunday of each month. And it's down in Modesto. But it's just another way to share karting with people. And then Ryan Beechner and I, him and I have known each other for years. We were talking about, kind of the recreational karter versus a club racer, etc. So we just had a really good discussion there. So those were the past 4 weeks on our live stream. Also, you can go to norcalkarters.com, click on the events tab. You'll see the events that just recently took place. But moving forward. Sorry, I was going through to see if I had something was beeping at me. So I was seeing if chats were coming through on the live podcast. But moving forward, this weekend, I already mentioned it, Rock Sonoma Round 1. That takes place this weekend at the Sonoma Raceway. And Saturday afternoon / early evening, we will also be doing the 2021 awards for the Rock Sonoma participants. So that's this weekend, March 19th and 20th, at Rock Sonoma, formerly known as Sanzaru Karting. And again, Steve Cameron's hinted at it with a couple of the podcasts about basically like a scholarship / fund where Sanzaru is kind of switching up the way they support the series in a manner that hopefully directly affects different racers. And why I think that's important, all the promoters, every promoter out there, whether it's a promoter of a club or whether it's a promoter of a regional series or a national series, I call them gimmicks, and I don't use that word demeaning, but all the promoters are trying to find their gimmicks to make their series stand out from the other series. Some series have the best track in the area. Some series have all the racers. Some series have a focus on keeping it local, small, and they're targeting the new guy. There is no wrong approach to any of it. But all of the clubs, all of the promoters, they're all trying to find their own gimmicks of what they feel is going to bring value to their customers being the racer. And again, whether they're national level racers or whether they're club racers or even just recreational guys that don't race at all, there's going to be some sort of a catch or a hook that these tracks and promoters need to come up with. And so keep an eye on that. Let's keep an eye on Rock Sonoma, and let's see how this unfolds for them for 2022. I'm really looking forward to it. Again, it's kind of something unique, being that it's a scholarship type program. And let's check it out. And we mentioned Daniel Tan, Karts and Coffee, March 20th. I'm just waiting for a response to see exactly where the location is going to be. In the past, it's been at the McHenry Village in Modesto. From my understanding, it piggybacks off of a group of guys out of Modesto organizing an event called Euro Sunday. So it's exciting actually to hear. You get to see supercars, you get to see old classic cars, and then the karts are showing up. And Dan's been saying that more and more karters are starting to come out and just share their stories, share their karts, etc. So that's March 20th down there in Modesto. Also this weekend, CCKRA, Central California Kart Racing Association. We had a panel of them on about a month and a half ago on one of our live streams. Again, you can go back and revisit all those episodes. NorcalKarters.com, click on the live link. And if you drop down just a little bit, there's a link that takes you to all the archived episodes. And they're heading to Willow Springs this weekend. So CCKRA is heading to Willow Springs, March 19th and 20th. And next week, March 25th and March 26th, Challenge of the Americas at Sonoma. So Andy Saisman and his crew will be at Sonoma to wrap up their Challenge of the Americas series at Sonoma. And traditionally, Sonoma has always been the closeout round. And there's been some great racing action coming out of Challenge of the Americas here in January and February. They were in Tucson and Phoenix. Now they're coming to NorCal to support our local track, Sonoma. That's taking place March 25th and 26th. And something a little bit unique that I'm personally hosting. That same Saturday at Sonoma, I will be at the Aluminos Kart Shop. And we are doing a pop-up swap meet at the Aluminos Kart Shop on March 25th. So I've actually had some pretty good success with that with my own personal items. I reached out to Rob at Aluminos and said, hey, why don't we do a quick pop-up event and see how it goes? And it's kind of twofold. So you have a big race series coming into town. The pop-up events are targeting new guys. It's targeting local racers. Rob has 30 or 40 karts that are going to be available for sale. We're going to have rims. We're going to have gears. We're going to have brake parts. tires, like anything you can think of that should be in a kart shop is going to be for sale. And what better way than to combine it with a race event? So that way when you get a new guy coming into the sport, it's like, oh, what's karting all about, etc. It's like, yo, here's the karts we have for sale. Boom. Oh, by the way, 200 feet away over on the kart track, there's a national level event going on. Go check it out. Go check out the teams. Go walk through the pits. Go look at the karts. Go see what karting is all about. So, again, we're doing a pop-up style swap meet at Rob's shop on March 25th, and that's going to be at Sonoma Raceway. Again, that's the same weekend as Challenge of the Americas, because Challenge of the Americas is going to be wrapping up their 2022 Winter Series at that track, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm sure there's going to be time for me to get out there and do some live videos for NorcalKarters.com as well. I'm already going to be there. Might as well. Let's see here. April 3rd. April 3rd. That's going to be a busy weekend in Northern California. There's the 80cc shifter kart takeover. April 3rd at Prairie City. So you can find their information on NorcalKarters.com. If you go to April 3rd, click on the link, boom, it'll take you to the Facebook page for the 80cc shifter takeover happening at Prairie City on April 3rd. Also that weekend, the Blue Max Kart Club will have a kart race. And the Northern Nevada Kart Club, they will also have a club race on April 3rd. So April 3rd is going to be busy, busy, busy for Northern California. So, once again, Prairie City is going to be busy, Blue Max is going to be busy, and the Reno Kart Club is going to be busy. And if you're wondering, why does Norcal Karters talk about Reno? I've explained it in the past, but I always like going into it. For as long as I've been in karting, which has been since about 95, Reno and the racers from Reno, they would always come over the hill to support Northern California karting. Not just NorcalKarters.com. I'm talking about the whole community of Northern California. And Norcal Karters is just kind of a fitting name for a regional kart group of people. But you can't ignore places like Reno that make the attempt, where I have some good friends that live in Reno that I met because they came down here to support our races. Reno also has a beautiful kart track. It's very unique. They have a very, very cool layout that just kind of offers everything that from a kart track that you really want. And their club does a really, really good job at promoting karting. So if you're listening to this podcast, like, hey, this is Norcal Karters, why are we talking about Reno? Well, that's why. Because for years, their racers have come over the hill to support racing in Northern California. The least I can do is mention Northern Nevada Kart Club and their efforts that they're doing over there. They have a good website. They have a good crew running that show. So, again, April 3rd, they are hosting their event. And right now, that's about as far out as I'm going to go. I am working on our calendar still. It's an evolving project. If I missed any of your events, reach out to me. Let me know. Today, I spent about an hour looking around for events I may have missed. I found a couple of websites that haven't been updated in years. I found one website, which I need to send them a message on Facebook. It was just broken. I just couldn't get through it at all. And it's a site I visited many times. So if I'm missing your events, if you are not a supporter of Norcal Karters, I will look for your events. I will post your events for free. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing it because we have supporters of Norcal Karters, such as Challenge of the Americas, Rock Sonoma, Prairie City Karting. Those are the tracks right now. NCK Road Racing. I didn't mention them in this podcast because they don't have an event coming up in the next couple months. But NCK Road Racing is another supporter of Norcal Karters. I'm doing what I can to keep tabs on the clubs that are supporting the site, but I'm not trying to ignore anybody. So, if you're listening to this and you go, Jason, you missed our event, I apologize because that's all it was. I missed it. Send me an email, norcalkarters.com. with a link or a printed schedule to your 2022 schedule. I looked on Facebook. I know there's other clubs out there having events. I couldn't find them on Facebook. And again, I'm one of those ADD guys. So if I'm looking and all of a sudden something pops up on my screen and it says, oh, go-karts for sale, I'm probably going to sidetrack over there. So if you're listening to this, if you're managing a club, I don't have your events on my calendar. Go to norcalkarters.com, click on calendars. If I don't have them on the calendar, let me know. Send me an email, norcalkarters@gmail.com. And we are going to wrap the show up. Job openings. I know a couple weeks ago, Prairie City Kart Track, they were hiring for multiple positions. I don't know if they're still hiring or if they're still looking. I imagine they are, because every time I talk to someone operating a track, they're always looking for good help and reliable help. You know, they need someone that's going to show up at the time that they're scheduled to show up. So, Prairie City Karting, see if you're looking for work in the Sacramento area, see if they are still hiring. Rock Sonoma, I know for a fact they are looking for workers for their series. They run one series a month. If you're new to karting and you're asking yourself, how do I learn more about karting? Contact myself. I will put you in touch with these local tracks, and they will train you. They will bring you up to speed. They will have jobs for you that require no experience that you can learn in a few moments. Now, some of the other jobs that take more skill would be corner workers, etc. But it's very attainable to work up to those positions quite quickly. And if you're a racing fan, what better way than to watch racing action than to be standing right in the middle of it and watching every single cart go by your corner while you're watching and holding the flag. And basically your job is to make sure, number one, the carts that are entering that corner are entering in a safe manner, meaning there's no pile up on the exit of your corner. Your job is to alert the drivers coming in, hey, there's an issue going on. That's your first job. Once all that's done, then maybe you move a cart or something. But again, all these tracks are always looking for volunteers. A lot of the tracks, it's a paid position. So check it out. Also, I mentioned Northern Nevada Kart Club. A couple of months ago, I saw they were looking for help. So Prairie City, Rock Sonoma, Northern Nevada Kart Club. Reach out to them. Reach out to me. I'll put you in touch with everybody. I don't care. Send me an email, norcalkarters.com. Real quickly, to our sponsors, Gorilla Barbecue, GFC Karting, Extra Kart Parts, and Illuminos. And I'm going to wrap the show up with, if we all bring one person in the sport this year, we will double our size by next year. Thank you all for the comments, the shares, the tags, the feedback at the track. Thank you. And this one ran a little bit longer. Again, I will do my best to make sure these are 15 minutes. But I appreciate it. Let's keep growing the sport, and I'll see you at the track.